guys, it's Tia from That's What She Fed, and I'm excited to show you more of what we've accomplished, and that is our goat pen. So we now finally have the babies, all the bottle babies are outside, and so we have the 2 boys and 2 girls. Right there is Toby and Sigurd, and then Doris and Poppy are over there. You can hear Poppy hollering at me right now. She thinks that the boys might be getting something that she wants too. So we finally have the pen set up. All the babies are out of the house, out of diapers, and Doris is the only one left on the bottle. We're still weaning her, and she's the youngest, of course, and we've got them separated. Ugh, no more onesies, no more. Oh man, I've never heard of anybody else using onesies to keep their goats from breeding, but I mean, it worked for me. So we finally got them separated, and this is the boys' pen. Now, I wish I would have done a video. Actually, I am going to show you a clip in just a second on a tip of putting up fencing, and you will see how green this was before the boys got here. They've not been here that long. It's been, what, a week or 2? And they've already just like wiped out all the green, which is great. That's what we want them for. We want them to forage and clean up our woods a little bit, and it saves us on hay. So I'm all about animals living off the land and not, you know, costing us to feed them. That is perfect. So that's actually been a huge factor in which animals we've been choosing. I've been choosing animals that won't be expensive to feed and possibly could be free to feed. Heaven forbid the food cost gets too expensive, which we are seeing the food costs rising, and I don't see any end in sight. So it's perfect to let them live off the land and our scraps and anything we can do to keep those costs down. So putting it up was very difficult, but I wish we would have realized this little tip before we got started. We had been doing it we were probably about more than halfway, 3/4 of the way done before we came across this little tip that would have helped us a lot if we'd started sooner. With the fencing, you really want to make sure you're tightening it in between the posts, and use trees if you can, because that'll save you money on T-posts. They're getting expensive. Anyways, I saw a video where a guy was using his tractor and a contraption that he made out of wood, and he screwed it together and he was pulling it real tight, and I'm like, we don't have a tractor, we don't have that stuff. So we were just pulling it with our own strength and trying to get it tight enough, and that was brutal on our bodies. Anyways, we came across a little hack, and you just take a pitchfork like this, and then you pull it like that and tighten it. Easy peasy, then attach it like that. So I thought I could share that with you guys too. So I hope that trick helps, and what also didn't help us was that we got, like I said, about halfway done and realized that our roll of fencing was 130 feet short. Oh, so thank God the store made it right, but it took me a couple weeks of calling and going in there to finally catch the right person who could make the decision, who could figure out what happened and get us our new roll. But we got a whole new roll, and we were able to finish the job, and I just absolutely love their new pens. They have all the space they could want. There's room for babies and more goats. Oh, we're so excited. So I think that this is our herd now. These are our babies, and we're just going to keep growing our own from here, and that way it'll be free. And we chose the 2" by 4" woven wire. If you're going to get goats, definitely get the woven wire. The welded wire, I'm learning that they rub up against it and it eventually just breaks, whereas the woven wire can flex with them as they push up against it because they love rubbing their bodies on it. They love those back scratches. So that's what we chose, the 2" by 4" woven wire. It is a bit more expensive, but we were going to get the 4x4 goat and sheep fencing, which makes sense, but I ended up deciding against it just because it actually has big, obviously 4x4 holes, and baby goats can run right through those holes. So I wanted to make sure that everybody was going to stay in and be secure. Also, we've been thinking about putting our chickens and ducks in with these guys. That was my original plan, but I've been kind of free ranging lately. Not with my OG girls. The original chickens that we had, they're just too close to us, and we've had them too long to, I just can't bring myself to risk it. So they're in their coop with their run, but the new chickens that we have and the new ducks that we have, they've been free ranging, and it's so nice to not have to have as much feed for them. And I'm trying to decide if I want to put them in with the goats or just keep free ranging. The great thing about putting them in with the goats is that they eat the ticks that I've picked a couple ticks off of the goats, but usually goat skin is too thick. I have an itch. See, the fencing is good for itches. Usually the goat skin is too thick for ticks to bite through, and I think that maybe the reason why the babies have been getting them is because they're babies, so their skin's not quite as thick. So you don't usually have to worry about ticks with goats, but for the few, I just thought it'd be nice to have the chickens in there to help them. But the great thing about having the chickens free ranging is that they can get the ticks all over the place in all the areas that we're walking, because I don't want ticks either. And they like our skin, so we'll see. I'm also looking at getting some guineas, possibly. I know I talked about it last year, and I'm finally think I'm definitely probably doing it. So we're going to be getting some more baby chicks, and then I'm going to hatch out some guinea eggs and try to time it up so that the guineas can just go in with the baby chicks and be raised together. Guineas have a tendency to wander too far, and I don't want them wandering. I want them staying on our land. So if you raise them with chickens, so I've been told, they will stay close because they stay with the flock, and chickens don't wander as far. And they also will go to bed at night. That's another thing. Chickens instinctively go back in their coop at night. You don't have to corral them in. They just do it by themselves, which I love. Oh, so low maintenance. We've had to kind of corral the ducks back in at night, but it's not been too difficult. And so with the guineas, they don't go to bed at night. They like to just roost up in the trees, which obviously is not safe out in the woods or anywhere really. Raccoons, coyotes, all that jazz. So we're gonna raise the guineas with the chickens, and hopefully the chickens will pass on all their great habits to the guineas, and then they'll stick around and go to bed at night. We have so many muscadine vines all over, and luckily the goats love them too, so they've been munching on those. And man, it's been so nice not having to refill their hay every day. I swear they're eating so much forage that they're just hardly even eating any hay. So I've actually put this shade up. It ain't fancy, but I just want to make sure that they're getting enough shade, and that allows the breeze to go through, but not the sun, so that they can stay a little bit cool. My sunflower is kind of falling over there, but the cucumbers are growing, and got some tomatoes growing. My cucamelons are still pretty tiny. I'm kind of concerned that they're not really shooting up like the cucamelons in the garden, but the nasturtiums are making me happy. I think they're a little bit behind as well though. And another sunflower and cucumber. It looks happy, right? And then we've got our pumpkin taking off as well. The basil and thyme and all the other herbs, they're a little bit sad, but oh, I just love the way it smells. You getting there, Ammo. Keep practicing. Some of my basil. I'm picking a salad for my ladies. Ladies, come get your salad. Oh. I had a goat coming in too. The quail is wanting some too, I think. They love kale. Quail love kale. Go ahead, Raven. Good girl. I know it's hard to believe, but I just put clear water in this pool 20 minutes ago. Quackers! Come get your salad. Here's the hose. Hey, Cricket. Get your salad. Hey, Toby. Beautiful blue eyes. What's up, my love? You come to chew my strings? And the garden looks a little different than the last time you saw it. We got a lot of grass growing in here. I need to weed that. That spot was a little harder to reach when I was weeding. As you can see, other areas I did okay. But look, my squashes are growing up the cattle panels. Yay! And getting ginormous. And I think that's only the beginning. I need more cattle panel. My basil is going crazy. I really, like I told you guys, I planted lots and lots of basil. I'm excited to try making my own pesto. And the tomatoes need their cages. Holy cow. You should do that at the beginning so you don't worry when you put the cage down in, it can pierce the roots. You don't want that to happen. And they are so wild now, it's going to be hard to put a cage on them. So, little pro tip there that I did not follow on my own. I keep forgetting to buy them. That's one thing about starting from scratch in another state is I didn't bring my tomato cages with me. And look, I've got radishes growing nice and big. I'm going to leave those in there. They get the ground nice and spicy and keep the pests away. So I'm not going to pluck them. I might take a couple, but not all of them. Babies, come on. Come on. Good boy. Good boy, Toby. That's Mama's boy, huh? Oh, even the chickens are coming. What's up? They think I got something good, huh? Yes, you want your sweets? Let's go get your sweets. Come on. Good boys. You ready for your sweets? That's where they are, huh? You know where the sweets are, don't you, Toby? Oh, no jumping. That's not nice. Yeah, they're in there, aren't they? I'll get them. Ta-da! The beds are done. Woohoo! And I want to point out the hay feeders. I'm pretty proud of how I did this. I had to lift the girls up because Doris kept jumping on top of it and I was scared she'd get her feet stuck in it. But let me show you how it works. So I just zip tied the bottom of this little arch. So it's like a hinge. And then I just put a carabiner clip up here. So when you unclip it, you can fill it. I did have this on the outside of the, it's hard to do one-handed, left-handed. I did have this on the outside of the pen so I could just have it up against their pen and they couldn't jump on it or anything, but now that we have the pens up against each other, it's easier to have it on the inside. And I'm going to put a tarp, you see the sunlight shining over the middle of that. I'm going to put a tarp over these two kennels so that when it rains, it doesn't come down on their hay. That way their hay is always dry in here, and whether it's nighttime and they're locked in, or it's daytime and they have access to the outside and in here, they'll always have their hay and their water and their beds. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to spend some of this evening in my little cattle panel area in my garden. I love that it's just growing around me. It's so beautiful. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, an amazing weekend, and God bless.